welcome to newspaper review headlines and Raw Impact Africa TV. And the Guardian here says Emefiele in custody for investigative reasons, says DSS. Yeah, Emefiele is in DSS custody. We know Emefiele now, who was the former CBN governor. He's actually in DSS custody right now for investigative reasons, says DSS. Emefiele made a lot of couple of wrong decisions during the way he handled the last cash crunch in the country, which actually made Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to actually make him the scapegoat. He's actually the first person who has been invited for questioning by this administration. So it's something that is worth the while. It's worthy of note that Mr. President is actually starting on a very, very good note. That is why the Guardian made this as a front burner that Emefiele is in custody for investigative reasons. Alright, still to come on newspaper review, the Sunday Tribune says revealed Emefiele may spend weeks in DSS custody. Yes, Tribune says Emefiele may spend weeks in DSS custody. There's also another rider there which says Yari for Senate President. Yeah, and there's also a tussle right now for the the office of the Senate Presidency, and the two very powerful contenders for that position is former Governor Yari and former Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And these days says Tinubu Policy Advisory Council proposes sale of NNPC in oil and gas assets. Wow. This is the Guardian, and on top of it we also have DSS confirms Emefiele's arrest, which Emefiele is actually number one trending all over newspapers on this day. And Tinubu's also Policy Advisory Council proposes sale of NNPC stakes in oil and gas. This has actually been the first thing Mr. President has been able to touch, and a lot of persons are actually super excited that the president is starting with oil and gas, which is very, very, very important. All right, still on newspaper review, the Punch says DSS 6 order to extend Emefiele's detention lines up interrogators. Wow, this is actually coming from the Punch. The Punch is has a very big rider there which says DSS 6 order to extend Emefiele's detention, and it has also lined up interrogators who are actually going to interrogate him for all the crimes he committed during the last dispensation that threw Nigeria into the worst economic turmoil that Nigeria can ever imagine or have.
All right, still to come. The Punch Sports Extra says Bulls of Istanbul, and this actually has to do with the football. For all football enthusiasts, this is actually for you. Punch Sports Extra says Bulls of Istanbul, and this has to do with the UEFA Championship, which just finished yesterday. Okay, and on Sunday Punch, we have a rider which says 10th Senate Assembly, the winning team unveiled. Yes, the winning team has been unveiled for the 10th Senate Assembly. And on the rider there, we have the picture of Mr. President, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have that of Shetima, who is the Vice President, Yari, who is the supposed Senate President, and Orji Zokalo, who is also going to likely be the Deputy Senate President. And they have a very, very powerful rider which says 10th Senate Assembly, the winning team unraveled. This is actually coming very, very close, because for the president to function very well, he needs to have very serious legislatures and House of Rep members who will give him all the support that he needs. Okay, still on newspaper review. Sunday Vanguard says MKO's son drops a bombshell. Yeah, MKO's son drops a bombshell. Few hours to the anniversary of June 12th. June 12th was the period that MK Abiola won what is called the freest and fairest elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but it was actually squabbled by the military. So NKO Abiola's son has actually dropped a banger which I think you need to see that newspaper so that you can know exactly what they are trying to talk about. MKO's son has dropped a bombshell. So still on newspaper review, Sunday Independence says Democracy Day. Activists vowed to protest electoral fraud, high cost of living. The cost of living in Nigeria right now is very very high. That is why some activists have vowed that they are going to be protesting on June 12th, which is supposed to be Democracy Day. This is actually captured by Sunday Independence. If you look at the paper, you get all of this information and more on the state of affairs in our country. On the Nation newspaper, we have a rider which says why Tinubu suspended Emefiele as CBN governor. Why Tinubu suspended Emefiele as CBN governor. CBN issue is actually the top burner when it has to do with news. So therefore, you're likely going to be having a lot of things happening around. CBN governor. So the Nation says why is Tinubu suspended Emefiele as CBN governor. So from Daily Trust, we have inside growing interagency clashes amongst Nigerian security forces. There's been a lot from time inception, even abroad. There's always interagency rivalry. Claiming who's superior or not. So now there is on the Daily Trust, you're going to be having a lot of information that has to do with inside growing interagency clashes among Nigerian security forces. So if you want this story, pick a copy of Daily Trust of yesterday and you get more analogies that has to talk about interagency rivalries. So, my people, I hope you had fun on this platform today. This is Raw Impact Africa TV, and we are here to give you all the latest information, updates, news, and gist that will keep you informed, educated, and entertained. As we leave you with this short clip of the former presidential aspirant Atiku Abubakar as he travels out of the country. He is the longest aspirant or candidate of in Nigeria who has always and sincerely tried to be president, but the odds are always working against him. So people, thank you so much for being part of this venture, and we hope to see you again some other time. Bye bye.